Good day and welcome. You're watching St. Maarten NEWSDESK, where we bring you the latest and most important stories around the island and beyond. With your anchor crew, Alston Lawrence, Glenda York, Tiziana Hart, and Mizzy with the Sunshine Report. This broadcast is brought to you by TV15 and proudly produced by Great Bay Media Studios in Phillipsburg, St. Maarten. And now, let's jump straight into today's top headlines.
URSM pushes back after explosive parliament session. Political tensions continue to escalate following an emotional parliamentary session involving VSR Minister the Honorable Richinel Brug and allegations against Prime Minister the Honorable Luc Mercelina. During Tuesday's meeting, Minister Brug accused the Prime Minister of political interference, abuse of power, and attempting to pressure him into bypassing legal procedures within the Ministry of VSR. Brug told Parliament he refused requests he believed were unlawful, declaring that his ministry had been hijacked and insisting he would protect his integrity even if removed from office. In response, the Unified Resilience and Maarten Movement board strongly rejected the allegations, calling them reckless, unfounded, and damaging to public trust. URSM says disagreements within government should not be turned into sensational public accusations, adding that concerns surround prosecutor appeals verdicts in Lisbon case. The Public Prosecutor's Office has filed an appeal against the verdicts in the Lisbon criminal case, which centers on allegations of bribery involving public officials. The case includes former Member of Parliament Rolando Bryson, along with Robbie Dos Santos and Sunil Jahani. The Court of First Instance delivered its judgment on April 29th, ruling that bribery could not be proven in two parts of the case, while finding bribery proven in one matter. Prosecutors say they disagree with several of the court's legal considerations as well as the sentence imposed and will now take the case before the Joint Court of Justice. The Public Prosecutor's Office says corruption cases strike at the heart of democratic governance, stressing that integrity in public office is essential to maintaining public trust. The Lisbon investigation was conducted by the Joint Investigation Team under the central team of the Prosecutor's Office, which focuses on complex corruption and financial economic crimes. Officials say the appeal forms part of broader efforts to uphold the rule of law in St. Maarten. AI use in education and Parliament takes center stage. Artificial intelligence is becoming a growing topic in both education and governance across the region. The Caribbean Examinations Council, CXC, is reassuring students and teachers that AI detection tools will not be the sole basis for judging school-based assessments. CXC says teachers' knowledge of their students, including drafts, discussions, and classroom guidance, will remain central to assessment decisions. Students may use AI responsibly to brainstorm, understand concepts, or structure ideas, but any use must be properly disclosed. Fully or mostly AI-generated work will be treated as academic dishonesty. Meanwhile, the Parliament of St. Maarten has established a new digital transformation and AI work group. The group will guide Parliament's use of digital tools, support AI ethics and governance, and help improve systems such as document management. Officials say the goal is to promote responsible innovation, digital literacy, transparency, and public trust as St. Maarten adapts to the evolving digital era.
Hello, my people. My name is Glenda York of Sit, Sip and Chat and Moms in Paradise podcast. You can find us on TV15 St. Maarten, TVC St. Kitts, and on YouTube. Reporting from Great Bay Media Studios in St. Maarten, your NEWSDESK featured story is coming up. But first, here is Mizzy with the Sunshine Report.
Hey there, it's It's busy with a sunshine report, straight out of Sunshine City, St. Maarten, bringing you the warmth and the sunshine you need to kickstart your day. So let's dive into today's forecast and see how the skies are treating us.
You could talk to your family, talk to your friends. Affordability and convenience. Community connection, that makes sense. Reliability with experience. Hey, for every love, every adventure. Number one provider, they got ya. We tell them your data is always on. You can opt out whenever you want. Tell them we always on. For every moment when you want more. Tell them we always on. Stay connected when you want to roll. Control my data, yeah, yeah, yeah. Always connected every time, everywhere. Money low, but I never fair. I know, tell them it's there. Connectivity, that's what I like. Flexibility, that's what I like. Reliability, that's what I like. Tell them, sign me up for life. Tell them we always on. For every moment when you want more. Come tell them we always on. Stay connected when you want to go. Come tell them we always on. For every moment when you want more. Tell them we always on. Stay connected when you want to road.
Stay connected to the best of local and Caribbean content anywhere, anytime with the TVC Plus app, the official app of TVC Channel 40. With the TVC Plus app, you can watch TVC Channel 40 live, catch every episode of your favorite shows on demand, watch exclusive pay-per-view content, listen to Voice of the Caribbean radio, and watch and read SKN Newsline. The TVC Plus app is available on all your devices. On the Google Play Store, search TVC and the plus sign. In the Apple App Store, type the words TVC Plus. And we're also available on the Amazon App Store for Fire TV and Fire Stick devices. Search the words TVC Plus. Download today and take TVC Channel 40 wherever you go.
All right, don't miss NEWSDESK. Weekdays at 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. on TVC. Sing Kitts to the World, now streaming everywhere. Minister Brug thanks nurses for frontline service. Minister of Public Health Richinel Brug is closing Nurses Week with a message of appreciation for the nurses serving within the Ministry of ASR and across the wider community. In recognition of International Nurses Day and end of Nurses Week activities, the minister personally thanked nurses for their dedication, compassion, and daily service to the people of St. Maarten. As part of the observance, Minister Brug presented nurses within the ministry with a small token of appreciation, calling it a simple gesture to recognize work that often goes beyond what the public sees. He emphasized that nurses remain one of the key pillars of the country's healthcare system, serving in clinics, institutions, elderly care, public health, community care, and inspection services. The minister said their commitment should not only be recognized during Nurses Week, but throughout the entire year. He concluded by thanking all nurses across St. Maarten for their resilience, professionalism, and continued contribution to public health. The President of Parliament questions the Kingdom's abstention on the slavery vote. Member of Parliament Sarah Westcott-Williams says the Kingdom must repair the damage caused by its abstention in a recent United Nations vote on slavery. The resolution declared the transatlantic slave trade the gravest crime against humanity, but the Kingdom's decision to abstain has raised concern. Westcott-Williams says the explanation from the Kingdom Minister of Foreign Affairs is not enough, arguing that a promise to do better in the future does not undo the political and moral impact of the vote, or abstention of the vote. She says the abstention sends the wrong message to Caribbean people, especially those whose ancestors endured slavery and whose societies still live with its lasting consequences. The MP has submitted parliamentary questions to Prime Minister Luke Mercelina, seeking clarity on whether St. Maarten was consulted before the vote and whether the Caribbean countries within the Kingdom were properly represented. She says statements of regret and reconciliation must be matched by clear action, warning that the vote could weaken future discussions on reparations and acknowledgement. Sonesta Maho unveils new rooftop adventure deck. Sonesta Maho Beach Resort is introducing a major new attraction with the launch of the Pelican's Nest Sky Deck. A 59,000 square foot rooftop entertainment space is being positioned as a first of its kind feature for an all-inclusive Caribbean resort. Phase 1 is expected to open on June 1st, 2026, offering guest activities such as mini golf, rock climbing, a kids play area, multi-sport simulators, a rooftop running track, live entertainment, movie nights, and family game shows. Unlike many resort activities that come as paid extras, Sonesta says the Sky Deck experiences will be included as part of the all-inclusive stay. Maho Group President and CEO Saro Spadaro says the goal is to create a destination within a destination, giving guests more than a traditional beach vacation. A second phase is planned for 2027 with additions such as zip lines and surf simulators. The resort says the project strengthens St. Maarten's tourism product by offering families, couples, groups, and active travelers a more experience-driven stay.
When we come back, we go to our in-depth feature of the day, exploring one of the island's most thought-provoking topics. That's just ahead. Stay tuned.
You know, we all talk about having rights. And yeah, we do.
We have the right to be safe,
the right to learn and get an education,
the right to speak up and be heard,
the right to dream big and build our future.
But listen, rights don't stand alone.
We also have responsibilities.
Real talk, if we want respect, we gotta give respect too.
St. Maarten is our home.
So let's protect it. Keep our beaches clean, our streets clean, and show love to nature.
Healthy island, healthy future.
Our parents and guardians do a lot for us.
Let's show respect, talk to them, and listen, even when it's hard.
School prepares us for life.
So we show up, we stay focused, and we put in effort.
We want opportunities, so we work for them.
We are part of this community, every village, every culture, every neighborhood.
Let's be kind, positive, and supportive.
A stronger community starts with us.
And most importantly, we are responsible for ourselves.
We make healthy choices for our mind and body.
We believe in our goals and our voice and our future.
Our rights give us power, our responsibilities make us leaders. Together we rise.
The Convention of the Rights of the Child isn't just a policy, it's protection and responsibility. When our children learn their rights, they are better prepared to take on their responsibility. This public service announcement is brought to you by the Department of Youth.
Let's put everything on the table. People always give their opinion, and you can either take it or crunch it. Let them judge. We give in to the most irresistible flavor. We devour every nugget that falls in our hands, especially when it's our crunchy fried chicken. And let the crumbs fly if needed. Let them keep judging. We'll keep indulging. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
You could talk to your family, talk to your friends. Affordability and convenience. Community connection, that makes sense. Reliability with experience. Hey, for every laugh, every adventure. Number one provider, they got ya. We tell them your data is always on. You can opt out whenever you want. Tell them we always on. For every moment when you want more. Tell them we always on. Stay connected when you want the road. Control my data, yeah, yeah, yeah. Always connected every time, everywhere. Money low, but I never fair. I know, tell them is there. Connectivity, that's what I like. Flexibility, that's what I like. Reliability, that's what I like. Tell them, sign me up for life. Tell them we always on. For every moment when you want more. Come tell them we always on. Stay connected when you want to go. Come tell them we always on. For every moment when you want more. Tell them we always on. Stay connected when you want to road.
Before we wrap up, we take a moment each day to check in with our neighbors across the region. There's always a story worth paying attention to. Here's today's regional headline.
Our regional updates: St. Kitts moves toward home porting cruise market. St. Kitts and Nevis is preparing to enter the Caribbean home porting cruise market, with Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew confirming the country's first home porting cruise is expected to depart from Port Zante in November 2027. The move is significant because home porting brings more than a short cruise stop. Passengers often fly in before departure or stay after returning, creating more spending for hotels, taxis, restaurants, shops, tour operators, and other local businesses. The launch comes as global cruise demand continues to grow. The Cruise Lines International Association reported a record 37.2 million cruise passengers in 2025, with nearly 90% of cruisers saying they intend to sail again. P&O Cruises has also confirmed Bass Terre will be added as a Caribbean home port from November 2027, expanding fly cruise options alongside ports like Barbados and Antigua. For St. Kitts and Nevis, officials say the project could support jobs, increase visitor spending, and strengthen the country's position in the regional cruise industry. The development also signals a broader Caribbean trend where ports are no longer just arrival ports, but strategic assets in tourism growth.
Welcome back. Each day we take a moment to go beyond the headlines and look deeper into the issues, people, and conversations shaping life here on St. Maarten. Welcome to today's NEWSDESK feature.
And solar financing lower the cost of living in St. Maarten. This is our part 2 of a 3-part series of public white papers looking at the impact of the global fuel economy and energy cost on St. Maarten. The first white paper focused on the idea of establishing a national energy authority to coordinate long-term energy planning. This second paper turns the conversation directly toward residents and businesses, proposing a St. Maarten Energy Affordability and Resilience Fund. In simple terms, the proposal asks whether St. Maarten can help households, condominiums, shared roof properties, and small businesses finance solar panels, battery storage, and related resilient systems, not as a luxury, but as a cost of living relief. And that matters because electricity is one of the most painful monthly expenses on the island. St. Maarten remains heavily dependent on imported fossil fuels for electricity generation. That means local utility costs are tied directly to global fuel prices, shipping costs, international conflict, and supply disruptions. The country's own national energy policy, published in 2014, already identified the need to reduce fossil fuel dependence, promote renewable energy, improve energy efficiency, regulate the energy market, and strengthen the sustainability of NVGEBE. More than a decade later, those goals are even more urgent. The Caribbean Development Bank recently warned that dependence on imported fossil fuels continued to drive high energy. The Caribbean Development Bank recently warned that dependence on imported fossil fuels continues to drive high electricity costs, fiscal volatility, greenhouse gas emissions, and exposure to global energy price shocks across the entire Caribbean region. That is exactly the pressure St. Maarten residents and businesses feel. For households, high electricity bills reduce disposable income. For elderly residents and families on fixed incomes, they can force difficult choices. For restaurants, retail stores, small hotels, offices, and tourism-related businesses, energy costs affect competitiveness and survival. So this white paper proposes a revolving fund, initially capitalized at $20 million United States dollars, to help finance distributed solar systems and battery storage. The idea is not simply to hand out subsidies. It is to create a financing system where repayments flow back into the fund and support future applicants. Residential households and shared residential properties could receive a proposed 20% incentive contribution, with the remaining 80% financed through a low-interest loan. Small businesses could receive a 10% incentive contribution, with 90% financed. The proposed maximum is $20,000 per household or participating unit, and $35,000 for commercial and small business applicants, with repayment terms of up to 10 years. The logic is straightforward. If a solar and battery system lowers a monthly electricity bill, part of that savings can help repay the loan. Over time, the resident or business reduces exposure to fuel price volatility, while the country reduces pressure on the grid and dependence on imported fuel. This is why the proposal is framed first as an affordability strategy. The environmental benefits are important, the climate benefits are important, but for ordinary people, the immediate issue is, the bill. A fund like this could help shift solar from something only wealthier households or large companies can afford into something more widely accessible. That is especially important in St. Maarten, where many people live in apartments, condominiums, or shared roof properties. Without specific rules for shared roofs, solar financing can easily leave out the very residents who need relief the most. The white paper therefore includes condominium associations, homeowners associations, apartment complexes, and shared residential properties as eligible applicants. That kind of design matters because renewable energy programs can accidentally become unequal if they only serve homeowners with private roofs and strong credit. The proposal also emphasizes technical safeguards. Installations would need certified installers, approved equipment, hurricane-rated mounting systems, battery protection, surge protection, proper monitoring and coordination with NVGEBE, and that point is critical. In a hurricane-prone island, rooftop solar cannot be treated casually. Poorly installed systems can become unsafe. Battery systems must be protected from flooding and storm damage, and solar systems must be integrated safely with existing electrical infrastructure. The paper also makes clear that the focus is mainly on self-consumption. That means residents and businesses use the electricity they generate to reduce how much they buy from the grid, while GEBE remains the backup and supplemental provider. This is not a proposal to replace GB. This is a proposal to reduce pressure on the system, reduce daytime demand, improve household and business resilience, and make electricity more affordable over time. Research already supports the direction. A 2024 TNO report commissioned by the Dutch Ministry of Economic Affairs and Climate Policy examined the energy transition in Aruba, Curaçao, and Sint Maarten, describing the current electricity systems and options for a more renewable future. Older energy assessments also found that St. Maarten was fully fossil fuel dependent for electricity generation, while having strong potential for solar and other renewables to displace imported fuel. There is also a financing opportunity. The Netherlands has earmarked 150 million euros to support the energy transition in Curaçao, Aruba, and St. Maarten, with reported allocations including 33.46 million euros for St. Maarten. The white paper argues that while this fund should remain distinct from centralized utility infrastructure programs, the broader policy direction creates room to seek kingdom support, climate grants, development bank financing, and blended funding. And that is a major point. Small islands often know what needs to be done, but they struggle with the financing and institutional structure to execute. A revolving solar resilience fund could make St. Maarten more attractive to climate financing partners because it offers a clear mechanism, measurable benefits, and a way to recycle the capital. Still, the proposal raises real questions. Who manages the fund? How are applicants approved? How are lower-income households protected? How are installers certified? How are batteries safely disposed of years later? And how does the system avoid becoming another program that benefits only those already financially comfortable? Those questions must be answered before implementation, but the bigger point is difficult to ignore. High electricity costs are not temporary. Fuel volatility is not going away. Climate risk is increasing, and the cost of doing nothing keeps showing up in monthly bills. The second white paper is asking St. Maarten to think beyond short-term relief and towards structured energy affordability, because lowering electricity costs is not only about energy. It's about giving families breathing room. It's about helping businesses survive. It's about protecting tourism competitiveness. And it's about reducing the island's dependence on forces it cannot control. St. Maarten cannot control global oil markets, but it can decide whether more of its people should have access to the tools that reduce dependence on those markets. And if this proposal starts a serious national conversation about solar financing, affordability, and resilience, then it may already be doing what a white paper is supposed to do: move the country from complaints toward design.
That's all the time we have for today's edition of St. Maarten News Desk. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember, new episodes premiere every weekday at 8 a.m. on TV15 and across all our social media platforms. From all of us here at News Desk, we wish you a fantastic week ahead. Until next time, stay friendly, St. Maarten.